All right, I think we're live again. Okay, so last time, just to recap where I'm at, what I did was adding the relocation, battle unit relocation functionality. Well, it's not fully finished yet, but as you can see, you can highlight different units, and when you highlight, this button lights up. And I'm thinking about moving this to the second button, but anyway, you click on this and then it should show you all the tiles that you can move to, and then when you click, it should teleport the unit to here and before we start the battle. And once the battle begins, it's an auto battle, so you don't have any controls over these. So right now I do have a test code where the unit is allowed to be relocated to anywhere on the map, which is not true. That should only be allowed for the rogue class. So here I hard-coded rogue to be true. So if I do this again, there you go. So this is how it's supposed to be. Yeah, so only the rogue class can be anywhere on the map, but other regular classes can only be placed on your the player side of the battlefield. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to have a way to click on the tiles and then be able to run any kind of code, right? Any kind of function. So how can we do that? That is, maybe we can do that if we have something similar to what we did with the characters. So for example, the characters, when I click on these, we are able to detect which character we clicked on, because these characters have a capsule collider. So maybe if we can put like a box collider around these tiles, because there are individual tiles in there. So if I open the battlefield scene, we can see that these have individual mesh. So this, maybe I will ask the AI about this. So in my game, how should I say, in my game, there are hexagonal tiles. I would like hexagonal tiles with hexagonal mesh. I would like the players. This is a mobile game, and when players tap on a tile, I would like to run a function, a callback function. How can I achieve this? in Unity. Oh, by the way, I'm completely new to Unity, so I have to like ask every single thing that I need to implement. Oh, it's actually searching through my code already, so I don't want to do that. Can you explain to me at a high level without modifying, without touching my files? Using colliders and raycasts. Okay. So there was one solution I had, which was in this code, I implemented eye pointer click handler. So I do have an example of doing something similar with my player units. Can I do something like this for the tiles? You might want to keep it simpler if you don't need the highlighting system. Okay, yeah, that's true. So what happens if the character collider and the tile collider overlap? Will this solution trigger both? Will this solution trigger both callback functions to be called, or one collider would block the other? This is an excellent question. In event handling in Unity, the behavior depends on the few factors. By default, Unity event system will trigger all valid event handlers that the raycast hits. The events are processed in order of distance from the camera. This means both your character tile, okay. You have three options. Using event system blocking. Stop the event from propagating to objects behind. Using the layers and the event camera. Okay, so in this case, what I think I'm gonna do, because my game is a relatively simple game, we will let all the events happen, meaning all the colliders that collide with the ray will simultaneously run their code, but depending on what needs to happen, I will ignore some of them. So yeah, let's do that. So let's say the hexes, going back to Unity, the hex tiles, do they have some code? No. And we do have mesh collider here, so that's useful. Okay, so it seems to me like we need hex. We need a grid select. So instead of character select, we also need grid. So grid is one of those individual tiles. Grid select here, and here's a script I want to use for detecting the mobile tab for selecting a single hexagonal grid in my battlefield. The grid game objects already have mesh collider. So is it possible to use those? Since your grid objects already have mesh colliders, we can create a grid select. Okay. So let's take a look at the code that's generated. So at the start of this mono behavior, so I'm supposed to be adding this grid select to here, right? So this would be a prefab that I'm using. So here, it would be, I think, here, this one, battlefield tile. Yeah. And then I'll be adding it into this prefab. What is this doing? Get component battle grid. It's assuming that my battle grid this code is not a mono behavior, so it's not supposed to be added to the prefab as a component, but it's looking for it, which it's not going to get anything then in that case. So I don't know why it's doing that. And then on a pointer click, so this is completely useless. I don't think this is necessary. And then on pointer click, battle.current state is preparation and is null or empty. Okay, we don't need any of this. We just want to be able to detect for now. Okay, so let's do that. We don't want any of this. I just want to be able to test. Okay, so what I'm going to do is all these individual game objects for the grids, right? I'm going to select them all, and then I'm going to delete. Right, so you can see all the tiles were basically transparent, and then we did have these paintings on top of the terrain. So this wasn't part of the game object. The game object, the tile game object itself is transparent. So I have this editor script that generates the tiles, and oh, we have to go in and we have to add battle. What did I call it? Grid select. Yeah. And save it. Okay, and this editor tile generator is going to be using this prefab and lay them all on top of each other programmatically. Generate, and there you go. And each one of these should now have grid select. So now if I run, okay, well, I can't run the game from here. Maybe I can. And click, there you go. Grid clicked at position whatever, right? Now what we need is instead of like this information is useful, but it's not what I need. In my game, battle class is the most high level, like the entire battle controlling script. And then it has these battle grids in a dictionary. And this vector 2 is the X and Y coordinate. So everything here is, it has coordinates in the name of the game object. So this is 0, 0. This will be 1, 0, where 1 is the X. So X increases as you go to the right. And then I believe Y increases as you go up, right? So what I need is I need to get access to an object of battle grid based on the coordinate, and I need to do that here. So the coordinate, actually, does this code have a way to get the grid based on the coordinates? No, it doesn't. But we should be able to just do that using the dictionary. So I'm gonna now ask the AI in on pointer click, the pointer event data itself isn't useful. What I need to do is the following. Get the grid coordinate from the game object's name. The name of the game object should already have the coordinate following this pattern. And I would do the tile generator script, where inside the tile generator script, we were putting in the X and Y coordinates into the game object's name, as you saw. So if I just pass this entire script, the AI would understand what algorithm was used to name the game objects, and then get the respective object of battle grid from battle using the coordinates from above. Add a debug log to prove that the right battle grid object was successfully obtained. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at what it's doing. So it's going to try to parse the game object name, and oh, there's actually get grid. I did not know that. Oh, here, yes. That's amazing. Okay, so we get the grid, and then we would be printing out the debug. Okay. So let's test it out. Here. Click. Oh no. What? No provider was configured for use. Oh no, this is irrelevant. Value cannot be null. That's okay. Oh, I'm clicking and nothing is happening. Odd, because that was working before. What could be happening? Before, when I tap on the grids, I mean, maybe we should just like put like a debug here. On pointer, click entered. Because that was working before. I didn't change any other code. I mean, that function should be, we should be entering that function every time. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so the reason why nothing is printing is because what? Because something has to be printing. Oh, maybe because I'm filtering the logs. That's why. Yeah, I'm only printing info logs, so. Okay, there you go. So could not find battle grid for coordinates 6-1. So this is incorrect. All right, so if I click on this one, it should be 0-0, right? And then this one should be 1-0. Yeah. So the actual coordinates parsing is correct, but now we are saying could not find battle grid for coordinates. So here we're entering here. So this function, this method apparently returns nothing. Okay, so I am seeing debug statements. Being printed for all grids. Can we add more debug outputs to solve this problem? Okay, so now I click on here. Total grids in battle grids is 0. Okay, so that's the problem, right? So I am seeing oh, you know what? I think it's because it's because I am running the game from this particular scene. So maybe, because in my game, this scene is never like loaded as it is. It always gets loaded dynamically. So, because this is whenever you encounter a monster in the game, right? So you always have a starting scene where the players are playing. which would be scenes, like a tutorial map here. Like this. And then you will enter the battlefield. So I think that's when all the grids get dynamically initialized. So I will have to test it here. So if I click here, there you go. Okay, so grid object 00 has unit false. Okay, so if I click here, interesting. So if I click here, this grid did not get detected. So the raycast shoots from the camera and it gets blocked by this collider around the character, and it doesn't go through that collider and hit the collider of the grid. Okay, so if I click here, yeah, you see? So this blocks it. And then it says it has a unit true, which is good, right? This grid has this unit. So we have to solve that problem. Please remove all the debug statements. Oh, actually, maybe we want the debug statements. But, okay, so let me think. If a character is standing on the grid and I tap on the character, the raycast from the camera runs into the character's collider first and gets blocked and stops detecting anything behind it. So the grid collider behind the character collider never gets hit. This is a problem for me. I want all collisions from the raycast be detected. On pointer click, get the ray from camera to the pointer's position. Process all hits. Oh, I don't get that, because we will never enter here, I believe. I mean, that's the whole problem, isn't it? I think the AI might have just given me a wrong solution here. Right, so this works, but if I click here, yeah, so we don't even enter. So why are we trying to solve it on pointer click? Because we never enter this callback function in the first place. As I mentioned, the character collider blocks collider prevents the grid's callback function from being called. The grid's callback function is this on pointer click, which never gets called. It wants to create a new script. What? Create the empty game object in your battle scene. Attach this script to it. You can remove the grid select script from your grid tiles since we're not using the pointer events anymore. This solution bypasses the event system entirely and uses direct physics raycast, which means it will detect all collisions along the ray. As far as I know, this update function is called on every animation frame, I think. So what exactly is this doing? It's trying to... Oh, it's manually creating a raycast from the camera. Okay. I don't really like this solution of manually casting a ray myself. Is there really no way to rely on, is there really no way to configure default default pointer click ray to penetrate all collisions and trigger all their callback functions? Okay, so now it wants me to attach this to the main camera. Make sure your camera has a physics raycaster component. Your grid objects and characters should have colliders. Event trigger components or scripts implementing eye pointer click handler like this one, the key changes that make this work. Queries hit back faces equals true. Allow raycast to hit back faces and inside of meshes. Max ray intersections 10. Ensure we hit objects on all layers. Uses Unity's built-in event system. No manual raycasting needed. I mean, I can give it a shot. We don't need that. So this thing wants me to add this to main camera, right? Okay, and the individual tiles. Scenes at battlefield here. Oh dear. Oh, what happened? Oh, it adds a camera and physics raycaster. Oh, it's probably doing that from the script. Oh, I feel like I'm treading in a very dangerous area here. Prefabs. Okay, I do not want grid select here. Let me think about this. I feel like, okay, I'll just try this one time, and if it doesn't work, then I have a different solution in mind, which is much, much simpler. So remove this. Remove. Okay. What happened here? Okay, so it wants me to add grid select here, right? And then we go back to the tutorial scene and test it out. Okay, that's not working. Even though we have, yeah, grid select here, right? So what is supposed to happen? Like, is it supposed to print something? Yeah. That doesn't work. So let me think. I'm gonna come up with a different solution. I'm gonna go back to what I had, which I liked, which was back here, right? Or was it this one? Yeah, this one is the one I like. I'm gonna put that back into the individual grids. So in the main camera, we remove this component and we go to the prefabs for the tile and we add this here. I'm just gonna quickly test that everything is back to how it was. Okay. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is first of all, like I know this is working, so let me just ask it to so delete all the debug statements. Okay, so let's work on the simple case first, which is relocating the character to the new grid where there's no other character on that grid. So empty grid. So what should happen? So this is the control script for all the battlefield, so battle preparation phase. And we activate relocate units, and that's how the tiles get lit up, right? We highlight the tiles. And then while this is happening, we have to check first if battle preparation phase, like when we activate the relocate, do we like keep track of whether the relocation is activated or not? Oh, I forgot. Is there a state variable that indicates the unit relocation is activated or not? Okay, so can you add a Boolean property to indicate this? Okay, cool. So here, what we're gonna do is relocating unit, and if it's not, then we don't do anything. Okay, so only when we are currently in relocating unit phase, we will then use a method in here. Okay, to method in here, let's say public static void relocate unit, and yeah, we do that. So we would then call like this. Perfect. So then it's up to here to perform the relocation of the unit, right? So in order to relocate, there has to be some things that happen. Battle grid. Okay, so each grid, so here would be 2 grid because we are relocating to that grid. So each grid will keep track of the unit that's standing on it. So we need to set this with the battle unit, with the battle unit with this unit ID. Okay. And then we have to physically change that battle unit's transform position to the right value, so that the game object of that character teleports onto the new grid. That's what we need to do. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to let the AI do that. Okay. We need to implement relocate unit. So first thing we're gonna do is we need to get the battle unit of the selected unit ID, which is this one, right? So once you have that object of battle unit for that, we need to how shall we do this? The battle grid should have a set sort of, okay, it should have we need to add a method called place unit, where we will no, actually we don't do that. We need to update the transform position of the battle unit of the selected battle unit to the appropriate one from the 2 grid. We need to update the state of the battle grid and battle unit for this selected unit. Okay, let's do that. And can you encapsulate above as a separate private method in okay, let's see if this is gonna work. What would happen to the grid that the unit was standing on? What happens to the previous grid? Update the old grid reference. Okay, so I guess it's taking care of that. Oh, nice. Did you guys see that? That's pretty sweet. That's really good. Oh, jeez. Okay, but the problem now is... Yeah, that's a problem, right? That's a problem. We should never have that situation, right? So we have to check if a unit is already standing on it, then we need to swap positions automatically. So in the relocate unit, if there is already another unit standing on the 2 grid, we need to swap positions. Use private methods to make the code readable and keep the relocate unit to be the high level coordinator function. Okay, so let's see. Relocate selected unit. I mean, let's not worry about these things. To grid unit. Okay, swap units, move unit to grid. So this is good. So if there's another unit there, we need to swap. Swap units. And then move unit to grid. Yeah, I like it. It's really readable code. All right, let's test it. Okay, so we knew this was working. Oh, amazing. Amazing. That's what we want. Now the only problem is now if I try to click on Roid while the relocate is active, it doesn't swap, right? Yeah, so we need to take care of that. Okay, so now the only problem is that when relocation is active and the other character is clicked, we are not performing the swap, and instead we cancel out of the relocation we cancel out of relocation and start fresh with the new character selected. This should not, instead of this, if the relocation is active and other character is selected, then we need to perform the swap. Character select. Here is where the character pointer click handler is. Check if we are in the relocation phase, and check if the relocation is active, and if so, we obtain the battle grid that the character is standing on, and simply call the relocate unit method with that grid, so we can swap. Okay, so on the pointer click, we check if we're in relocating unit is activated, and then we get the clicked unit and its grid, and then yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Yep. So now it should work. So this is my workaround for the thing that I couldn't do in the beginning of this live stream. I think this is good enough. There you go. So whether I click on the grid or whether I click on the character, works. Yeah, perfect. So the idea is the people should be able to put this guy at the front, and then this guy. Oh, actually, we want these two to focus attacking him. So we want him to go here. We want him to go maybe here. Well, right now this guy is not tanking properly because his HP is not balanced. So I'm gonna make it so that his HP is much bigger and he's able to tank better. Well, I have tons of warning messages. What happened? Terrain collider, mesh collider is not supported on terrain at the moment. Yeah, well, I don't know what that means. It's probably coming from the modeling side, not the script. So I'm just gonna ignore that for now, because all this modeling, all these trees and terrains and everything, my wife has done the work. She did an amazing job, right? Like, yeah. So she's my modeler basically. I couldn't get anybody who can help me out, so I've asked her. Okay, so the unit relocation is working. Now, I did say that I want to move that button. So let me just go here. Yeah, so I want relocate to be up here. Mm. Yeah, so yeah, the position of this is minus 120, and this is 30. So this should be 30, and the position of this should be minus 120. Yeah, that's it. And then replace. I don't think I need to worry about that now. So I'm just gonna disable that. Yeah. Because replace is really just replacing the units on the battlefield with backup units, like your bench, and you replace them. So what I'm gonna do now is injury state of the characters. So in my game, what should happen is that if they fight and if the battle ends, if the battle ends and you lost, basically all your units die, then all these units will be injured. So if we go to here, oh, I gotta fix that too. So right now, Royd and Joel, they've just finished fighting, and they're both level 1s, and their HP is 5 out of 5, and they're all 100%. But if you lost, and even if you win the battle, if that character died during that battle, they should be injured a little bit. So, and then if they get injured, their maximum HP is capped here, something like that. And because they died in the last battle, their HP is going to be 0, and then the player will have to use a special item to revive them, and then revive them. But then because they're injured, their maximum HP is going to be capped unless they go back to town and basically go to the inn and sleep. And if everybody takes a rest, their injury recovers to 100, injury is removed, and then their HP is going to be 100% again. So this injury state is something that I have to implement. And of course, you can revive the guy, and then you can fill up the HP. Even if the character is injured, they can fight, and then if they die again, then their injury gets worse and worse and worse until they become like 0%, where they can't fight anymore. And yeah, the only way to recover that is just you're forced to go back to town and then take a rest. So first of all, let me work on the image for Joel. Okay, so we have, let me see. I'm just trying to find the folder. Where that portrait image is for Roid. Unity. Assets. Prefabs. UI. No. These are all prefabs. Where's the image? Maybe it's in the portraits. Sprites? No. Resources? Sprites. Portraits, yes. Yeah, there you go. So we need, this is Royd Shepherd. We need Joel portrait. And that's the knight. And the Joel's 3D model is here. Okay. So I am going to quickly turn off the health bar for now. And take a picture of this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, here is an example. Here is an example portrait illustration of a character in my game. For now, don't do anything. This is for your reference. I want to generate another portrait. I need to generate a new portrait for another character in the exact same style. Okay, so we need to take this, and this is the 3D model of the new character. Can you create a portrait in the same style for this character? It takes a while. But I think as soon as I fix the portrait issue, I think I'm gonna go take a break and eat something, and then potentially stream later again. But I will end the stream here after this. The color scheme is a bit off because it's gotta be, the color is off. Okay. Overall looks good, but the colors of the armor is off, is incorrect. Yes, fix the colors. Okay, that's getting closer. I mean, it's a little too dark, right? Yeah, the color is dark. The armor color is too dark now. It needs to be brighter gray. Shoulder pads are not identical. Strap across the chest is also not identical. Okay, I like that color. Oh, but it got rid of the green outline in the helmet. Oh, damn. Just, it can never get correctly. The green outlines of the armor should not be removed. Shoulder pads are still not correct. Here is the reference image again. Oh, yeah. Let's fully lock down the remaining details. The AI always struggles to get something produced like accurately. It's like it's always good enough, but never like really accurate. It's doing a good job now. I think the shoulder pads, need to be brown with double layers and darker brown outline. Here is the reference image again. The arms should show skin. Here, everything else seems good. Here is the reference image again. Why is it changing the color of the armor again? Oh my god. Oh no, it's good. Oh yeah, it's good. I mean, it's good enough. It's good enough for me. Okay. I mean, the shoulder pads, they're in the wrong color. Okay, I'll give it one more shot. Everything is really good. Except the inner colors of the shoulder pad. Inner part of the shoulder pad layers need to be in a slightly gray brown tone, and beside the armpits there are double stripes around the arm as well. See the reference image. Everything else should stay the same. Hello. When did you say hello? Did I like miss that chat? I'm sorry. I'm still getting used to streaming. Sorry if I missed you and did not respond quickly. Now the shoulder pad is like triple layered. Oh no. The shoulder pad should not be triple layered. It should only be double layered. And shoulder pads should not have green outline. I think if the AI doesn't get it now, I don't know. I'll probably choose one of the ones that have been generated so far. I'll probably choose this one. Because this one, the coloring is like really off. I don't know. It tried to give like a lot more shadows and more, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm good with this one. Yeah, I'll go with this one. Okay, save image. Joel portrait. Okay, so we go here. Resources, sprites, character. This one is named Royd Shepherd. So we should bring this in. And okay, obviously this is this has to be zoomed in more. So I have to delete that. Yeah. Let me try to go to square image cropper, something like that. And yeah, try to do something similar to the other image. Let me try to get the reference image. Where is it? I have to go to Unity assets, resource sprites, character portraits here. Right. Okay, so we have a very small space up here, so that's fine. And then we have, it only shows up to like maybe the nipple area. So like this. Maybe a little bigger. Yeah, like that. Let me try it. So I'll call it Joel grunt, and then we bring it into Unity. And then change that to 2D sprite. Single. Okay. So now the portrait images are loaded dynamically in the code. So I look for Royd Shepherd. And what do we have? Not this. Battle units, not this. I think this is it. Get portrait path, yep, that's it. So we add character name, Joel, unit class, grunt. And then sprites, character, portraits, Joel, grunt. Okay, hopefully that's gonna work. We might need to, like, just by looking at the size of the head, we might need to increase the Joel's. We might need to zoom in more. Yeah, we need to. Yeah, we need to zoom in a little bit more. But this looks a lot more pixelated. So I don't know what happened. Let me see. Single, 100, tight, 1. Yeah, everything is the same. But what's odd is that I get this warning message where I don't here. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, but I feel like I need to zoom in a little bit more. So make this smaller. Okay, let's try that. And in Unity, we delete. Yeah, that looks good to me. Yeah. Joel is grunt. Okay. Okay, cool. So this is it for this live stream, and then I'll come back later. I'll take a break and The next thing I'm gonna do is probably work on the rewards, getting the rewards after the battle ends, or no, sorry, I said that I'm gonna work on the injury state, right? So I'll work on the injury state of the units that died during the battle,